so here we go then. So let me just get rid of that. So what you're going to do, first of all, is you're going to go to File and Open. So I'll go pretty slowly so you can write this down. You should then be able to find your area. So remember, you need to save those 2 photographs that I've emailed to you to your area. All right, so I'm going to go into pics of students because that's where you all are. All right, so there's Erin. Okay, there's Ella. Let's do somebody else this morning. Let's use Chanel. I don't think she's on the lesson, so she won't mind. Okay, so we've got a photograph of Chanel. So the first thing we're going to do is that will come up as your background layer. All right, so if you double click in your layers box on the background, so it then comes up as layer 0 and click OK, that means that that is now unlocked and we can do stuff to it. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know. So what we're going to do is we're going to rub out those bricks. All right, so we've just got Chanel with absolutely no background whatsoever. Now you can either do it with the magic wand, which is the 4th tool down. Okay, if it's not there, it'll be underneath the quick selection tool. All right, and you can click on the background and you might find that it highlights most of that. So up at the top here, you've got a little box that says tolerance. So that is at 50%. Okay, so that's actually got rid of most of the background for me. If I then put my finger on the Shift key, you will see that there's a little plus sign comes next to the magic wand. So I can then just click on those other bits that it hasn't got. So for example, that little bit there in between her hair, these little bits down here. Okay. Oh no, that didn't work, did it? Try that again. Get in those bits. No. Okay, I'm going to leave that bit because that's not working. All right, so that has now selected all of the background. So what I can do now is I can press the delete key. And there's nothing there. So when we've got completely fresh air behind something, we've got these little white and grey checkerboards. Okay, are we all right with that? If you put in anything in the chat, I can't see that at the same time at the moment, so I'll do questions at the end if you like. Okay, so if you then press Control and D together, that then deselects that area, because at the minute we've got that all highlighted, look, with those little dashed lines going around it. Okay, now if you're very, very pernickety, and I know some of you are, you can zoom in with your magnifying glass, look, and if you want to, then you can use the rubber. So again, that's a very small brush, so go up to the brush, and let's make it bigger. So click on, and you can see how big it is when you come back to your area. So the rubber is the one under the paintbrush down here. All right, now what I can then do is just rub out, get that a little bit neater, just up to the edges of her hair. If you put your finger on the space bar, whatever tool you're using changes to a little hand, which means I can then click the mouse and just move myself around the picture without having to zoom out and zoom back in all the time, because that's really irritating. So I'm just going to get rid of these bits here, look, where it's not quite picked up the a little bit smaller. Obviously, I haven't tried this out with all of you, so depending on the hair and stuff you've got going on in the photo, depends on what bits you need to rub out. Okay, if I then press Control and 0, it will go back to the full screen. Okay, so we've got rid of the background. Are we all right with that? Yes, take your mics off, guys, and talk to me.
Yes, miss.
Thank you. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a gradient colour in the background, all right? So we're going to click on the layers box in the top right corner, and we're going to click New Layer, and click OK, all right? Now we're going to drag layer 1 underneath the picture of Chanel, because we want the background at the back, obviously, not over the top of her face. And we're going to use the gradient tool. Now, if you hover over your paint bucket there, you'll see the gradient tools at the top, and it's kind of like a fade from grey to 0. And what you need to do now is pick 2 colours. So at the minute, if I do this, it's going to go from black to white, which is a little bit boring. So let's pick something a bit mad. So we'll go from pink to, let's try orange. Actually, let's go better orange. That's better. And if I then just click on the image, depends where you want the fade to go from. Okay. And if I just remove Chanel a minute there, you can see it's gone from pink to orange. All right. So you can do that as many times as you want. If you want it going the other way, then just draw a line up the other way. You might want it going across, so you can do it that way. All right. That looks probably better because I've got both colours there. So have a play around with that. Decide what colour you want to use. Okay. And that's that bit done. Right. Are we all right with that bit? Yeah. Hopefully. I'll tell you what, I'll send you an email after this with a kind of step-by-step instruction as well, if that helps you guys. But like I said, if I record it, you should be able to play it and then pause it a few times. Right, so the next thing we need then is we need part of the other picture, and we're going to turn it black and white. So we're going to go to File and Open, And we're going to find Chanel where she's looking at the side. Where are we? There we go. Okay. So all I want is this bit of the face. All right. So again, I'm going to make a selection. So I'm going to go to that selection tool, which is the rectangular marquee tool, which is the second one down. And I'm just going to draw the bit of the face that I want. Okay. So I want that bit of my picture. Okay. So I'm going to go to edit, copy. And I'm going to click back on my original picture, and then I'm going to go to edit and paste. And it's gone underneath. So just have a look where it pastes. Look, it's pasted underneath Chanel. So let's bring it to the top. There we go. Now this is up to you. You can change this and have it black and white if you want. You don't have to, but you might want to change the colour of it. So if you want it black and white, we need to go to Image and Adjustments and Black and White, and that will just turn that layer black and white. Okay. Not the whole image. So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to zoom in again, and I'm going to rub out the background because we don't want that. So I'm going to use the rubber this time. So again, this is good practice at sort of controlling the mouse. That noise you can hear, I think, is Mr. Chalice hammering in the equipment room. So I'm very sorry if that's annoying you. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go around the face. Now, if you go wrong at any point, if you press Control and Z, that does undo. But also, if you go to Edit and Step Backward, or Alt, Control and Z, that will actually sort of undo several times. Because this is the fiddly bit. I know I make this bit look easy, but kind of the mouse control bit is quite tricky. So you might need to really zoom in and look what you're doing, which I need to do around her nose because it's all a bit similar shade of grey at the moment. So I'm just going to really carefully work around nose. Okay. There's a benefit to this though. I bet you're doing it in a nice warm bedroom or a warm somewhere. Right, so I need a smaller brush to go around her lip a little bit because it's just far too big. So let's just go around there and in between the lips there. So like I said, this is exactly what we would have been doing in Bravo today anyway, so we're not sort of going to be behind or anything on our project, so don't panic. So again, the finger on the space bar even, and it turns into a little hand, and you can just use the mouse then to move that around. All right, so I'm just going to go down the neck there, and then I can get a massive brush and rub that bit out all in one go, look. So let's rub that out. So again, Control and 0, and we've zoomed out. Now at the minute, that doesn't look particularly good because we've got part of Chanel's face where we don't want it. So it's up to you now, depending on your photographs, because some of you turned right to the side, so I've got a complete profile. Some of you were 3/4. So again, decide where you want this to go. So I think I'm going to put it sort of here, so that when I start to delete or blend in the hair, actually some of her face comes through. So again, we need to use the rubber, but this time we need to sort of choose something that looks a little bit like a spray paint, because what the rubber does is the opposite to spray paint. It sort of sucks away the colour gradually. I need a nice big brush for this though, and I'm only going to rub it out a little bit at a time. So if you go up to the top where it says opacity and then just make it about 60, when I then click on that layer, look, it just rubs it out gradually, because what we want is we want that image to fade into the other one. So I'm going to go over her eye a little bit, but I'm going to leave part of the hair around her mouth. I'm just going to make the neck kind of blend into her chin there. Okay. If you want to, that little bit of hair is really bugging me there actually on that side of the face. It looks a bit weird coming out of there. So I can click on the image of the first image of Chanel, look. And again with the rubber, because I'm on that layer, I can actually rub that bit of hair out so that doesn't look quite so weird. But again, this is up to you. You can have a play with this and see what you think. Oops, I rubbed it. Okay, so that's that bit. Are we okay with that? Speak to me.
Miss. The screen's frozen.
What, your screen?
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, mine's still going, so hopefully the video will still be fine. So if you just write down the instructions, Jess. Like I said, I'll get this video sorted as soon as I can, providing the signal down here is all right. I can whack it on my phone and get it out to you as quickly as possible. Okay.
Right.
Yep. If it helps, just leave the meeting and then dial back in again, and I'll just click you back in, see if that makes a difference. It might not. Oh, I've frozen for all of you. Okay, just exit and come back in then, because like I said, it's still working for me. It must be right. Let me just admit you again, see if has that made a difference. No, you just love technology. Right. Okay, let me just see. Hang on a minute. Right, is that you all back in again now? I think so. Right, has it frozen again now? Hello?
Mine's fine.
Right, is yours all right now? Okay, I'll carry on then. Right, so what I did on the other one is I then added a bit of colour to part of the colour photograph. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to make sure that I'm on the right layer. So I want the colour photograph of Chanel. Obviously, this is going to be you. So I've clicked on that one. Again, I've gone to that rectangular selection tool, and I'm just going to copy that bit. So sort of just half of it. Okay. So edit, copy, edit, paste. You'll find that now got another layer. Okay, so it's slightly disjointed. So that's layer 3. So I can join that up, look. All right, but this one I can now change the colour of. Whoops, sorry. So if I then go to image, adjustments and hue and saturation, I can change the colour of that bit of the picture that I've just done. So let's see if we can get a kind of pinky colour or an orange to sort of complement the background that we've got. Saturation, if you go to the right, makes the colour more intense. What should we do? Should we go? Let's go. Oh, we'll do that one. There we go. Okay. So play around with the colour. Click when you're happy. And again, we want that line to blend. So I'm going to click on the rubber. I should still have a nice big spray paint thing, but I'm just going to make that a bit smaller because it's a bit mahoosive. Oh, a bit bigger. There we go. So what I can do there is I can just go down the line of that sharp image, look, and I can just blend that in. So it looks like that turquoise and that pink of her face is just blended into the rest of her skin. All right, so that's all the image done now. All we need to do next is add some text, and we're going to make the text slightly see-through as well. So we click on the text layer, all right, which is the text tool, and when we click on the picture, it automatically gives us a new layer anyway. All right, so just make sure you're on the top layer because we want the text tool to make a new layer on top of everything else. Now, at the minute it's tiny. Oh no, it's quite big. So decide what font you want. Let's go for, I don't know, let's have a look. Bit of GG, don't know what that looks like. We've got about 300, yeah, it'll be quite a big, you need quite a big size font here because these photographs are quite large. Okay, and then you can just type out beneath the surface lots of times. At the minute I don't want it orange, I might do it white actually this time. So let's pick a white. There we go, so just change your colour. It'll be whatever this top one is. All right, and then I can move that. Don't really like that font actually, it looks awful, but never mind, we'll just carry on. So what you want is it to look like you've written beneath the surface, beneath the surface, beneath the surface, blah, 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 lots and lots of times. So I'm going to carry on with that. All right, then I'm going to press return. Oops, that's done it. Hang on, let me go back. Stupid thing. Let's just go back to the same one we're on. There we go. And then carry on the surface. Beneath the surface. You're getting bored of this yet? That. Beneath the surface. Okay. So carry on until you've filled up the whole page, and then we just want that to be ever so slightly see-through. So if we click the opacity box at the top of the layers, look, we can make that so that it just knocks it back a little bit. Obviously, I quite like it in white when it's faded, but black would work quite as well. So again, you can change the colour of the text if you want. Try it in black. Click OK. Highlight it first, sorry, my bad. Then try it in black. Click OK. What's that look like? Okay, again, it looks quite nice. So fill that up. Now, when you save it, all right, once you've done that, if you can take a screenshot, okay, this will just help you explain what it is you're going to do, because obviously I will print these off for you, but you might need to email the picture back to me because I won't have access to your area. So what I want you to do is take a screenshot. So if you press print screen now, all right, just so you can see all your layers box look, and then we can talk about what we did. So I'll send you the instructions, but we'll recap in lesson anyway when you're back in next week. So if I press print screen and then just open the Word document. No, I don't think it's going to let me do this at the same time. It might do. Hang on, I might just have to stop sharing it. So open the Word document and then paste it into there. So just literally press Control V and your the image of your screen will come up. All right. So save it. So go to File and Save As. Now it probably won't let you save it as a Photoshop file because it'll be huge in your area. So if you just go down to where it says JPEG and then just call it your name. All right. So I'd call it Miss, for example, and save it in your area. So as a JPEG, it will be a lot smaller, and then you can email that to me and I can print it out on some nice glossy paper, which I've got, and we can stick it in our books when we get back. All right, so let me just click back to the Teams thingy. I can stop sharing. And then, right, has anybody got any questions about that? Hello? Speak to me, I'll put it in the chat. Any questions?